Welcome to Post Lady Lope Softball, a Post Sports radio presentation, live and free on Facebook and YouTube. This broadcast is made possible by Judge Lee and Marcia Norman, supporting what's good for Post and Garza County. The Post-Dispatch, the newspaper of record for Garza County since 1926. The Dispatch is the corporate sponsor of Post Sports Radio. Post Family Dentistry, small-town values, state-of-the-art care. Garza County Animal Hospital, a family atmosphere for family pets. KSSL Radio, playing the greatest country music ever recorded. The Will and Crystal Osborne family, proud supporters of the Bold Gold Nation. The Post Independent School District, we are Bold Gold. Carson Construction, Post-owned and operated. Call 806-626-3811. And now, here's the Judge Lee and Marcia Norman pregame show on postsportsradio.com.
Good afternoon and welcome to Post Sports Radio's coverage of Post Lady Lope Softball, brought to you by the Post Dispatch. You are listening to the Judge Lee and Marcia Norman pregame show. Russ Morris here with the play-by-play alongside Jim Plummer, who is keeping the books and adding commentary. Video of tonight's game is live and free on YouTube, and we are coming to you from the friendly confines of David Nichols Park for senior night as your Lady Lopes get set to take on the Seagraves Lady Eagles. It is Friday, April 11th, and it is game number 9 of the District 4 2A season. The Lady Lopes enter today's game seeking their 6th district win of the season after knocking off the Tahoka Lady Bulldogs earlier on Tuesday. The Lady Lopes have a 5-3 district record following the victory, and Post is led by head coach Levi Groomer, who is in his 2nd season here at Post, and he is assisted by Stevie Matus. Now, Seagraves enters this evening's contest hoping to earn their 3rd district win of the season following their victory over Morton on Tuesday. The Lady Eagles are led by head coach Destiny Saldivar, who is assisted by Seth Pittman. Jimmy, want to lead us in prayer?
I will, Russ. Father God, we come to you in prayer. Just thank you for another glorious day. We hope what happens here on the field at David Nichols Park glorifies your name, and all that the players do, the coaches, and the umpires. We ask you to do the same for us in the booth. Please bless us and let us glorify your name. And bless these kids and all the participants out there celebrating senior night. We do ask you to please bless these seniors now and forever, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. When we come back, we will get informed with the Post ISD report as you are listening to the Judge Lee and Marcia Norman pregame show on Post Sports Radio, live and free on YouTube.
This message is sponsored by Judge Lee and Marcia Norman.
The Post Rotary Club takes pride in the community, and what a better way to show that than with the Parade of Flags program. For a $50 annual fee, we will place an American flag in your front yard or place of business on 5 holidays and pick it up afterwards. Funds from the program will support youth scholarships and programs in the Post Garza County community. Get the Parade of Flags registration form on the Post Texas Rotary Club Facebook page, or send a request for a form by email to rotaryclubofposttexas@gmail.com. Show the nation's colors and your patriotism and join the Parade of Flags, a fundraising effort of the Rotary Club of Post.
This is brought to you by Judge Lee and Marcia Norman, supporting what's good for Post and Garza County.
The Post Dispatch is proud to support all of our local high school sports. They're excited to bring you all the weekly scores and highlights of your favorite teams, as well as keeping you informed about everything going on in the community. Subscribe today. You can choose to have your newspaper mailed to your home or business, or subscribe online and get the news when it's convenient for you. They're proud to serve the community and proud to serve Garza County. The Post Dispatch, community news at the finest. It's springtime, and that means fleas and ticks are starting to target our little furry pals. Garza County Animal Hospital reminds you that although fleas and ticks are a threat to pets year-round here in West Texas, they become the most active during the warmer months. Get a jump start on your fleas and tick protection and keep your pet healthy and happy from a monthly application to a single pill taken every 3 months. Give us a call today to schedule your appointment. Garza County Animal Hospital, 495-3726.
The Post ISD Report is brought to you by Post Family Dentistry with small town values and state-of-the-art care. Hello, I'm Jim Plummer. Area qualifiers from the PHS track and field teams competed at Abernathy yesterday. Here's Post Dispatch correspondent and PSR announcer Russ Morris with video coverage of what happened. Well, congratulations, Coach Patterson and Coach Davis and your Lady Lopes and your Antelopes. Also, congratulations to the high school one-act play for placing first and advancing to the regional round. They led all schools with straight ones for their performance. The following awards were also earned. Outstanding Sound by Seth Lee, Honorable Mention Cast by Harley Jo McClellan, All-Star Cast by Aiden Gonzalez, and Best Performer was Chloe Smith once again. The PHS Sports Banquet has been rescheduled for Monday, April 28th at the Post Community Center. It'll start at 6 o'clock. Tickets for guests are $20 a person and can be purchased at the Post High School office, or you can pay at the banquet door. This will be an extra special banquet to celebrate all the Bold Gold athletes. All right, this has been the Post ISD Report, brought to you by Post Family Dentistry with small town values and state-of-the-art care. The Judge Lee and Marcia Norman pregame show will continue after this.
My name is Sochi Anderton. I'm a dentist here at Post Family Dentistry. This clinic is a huge example of providing fancy dental care here in Post, Texas, because the residents of Post in these smaller communities, they deserve that same quality of care. We've expanded from 3 chairs now to 6 chairs at this new location. We are very proud here at Post Family Dentistry of our small town values combined with state-of-the-art care.
Post ISD is filled with passionate staff, daring students, and deep-rooted traditions of champions. Our state-of-the-art facilities provide top-tier educational opportunities, including career and technical training, advanced academics, and free college courses, creating future-ready antelopes. Our 4-day instructional week allows our students to continually pursue excellence in our distinguished fine arts programs, exceptional athletic teams, and a multitude of other extracurricular activities. Post ISD, we are Bold Gold.
Are you looking to do some work around the house and would like to hire a contractor who does every part of the job? Then give Carson Construction a call at 806-626-3811. Greg Carson and his crew have over 40 years of combined experience and can do new construction, remodeling, and concrete work. Plan now for your spring and summer projects and call the guys who pride themselves on their work. 806-626-3811. Carson Construction, building a lasting relationship with each customer. Call 806-626-3811.
Welcome back, everybody, to Post Sports Radio's coverage for senior night action here at David Nichols Park between the Post Lady Lopes and the Seagraves Lady Eagles. Real quickly, as we take a look at games around the district, Sundown is hosting New Home, the Lady Leopards, and then Tahoka is hosting Morton. As it looks, the umpires, the officials, are here, so any moment now, we do have a flag out in center field.
Should have the national anthem.
So we should have the national anthem, as it looks like that's what we're fixing to do, as Seagraves throws their gloves over to the side, and they're taking their stance right down the first base foul line as they're naming off the lineups.
All right, might as well follow up for us. And I'll do the batting order. We just heard from Michaela Davis. Will be the third baseman batting first. Gabby Simontel will be pitching, batting second. Alyssa Perez batting third at second base. Brianna Davis is the first baseman. Number 7, there she is on camera. Kamari Bibbs, the center fielder. Adriana Davis, the shortstop, number 8. Batting 7th would be Erin Jolly, the left fielder. And in right field, batting 8th would be Denisha Williams. And finalizing the order is number 9, Nunu Martinez. She wears number 3, and she'll be catching. All right, so here's all the rosters, it looks like. I don't know how they're doing it, number 2 through. No.
So they're going Riley Hernandez. And then this is number 3, Elizabeth Acosta. As well as
Serenity.
And there's Harley Jo McClellan coming into screen. This will be Haley Parker. And then coming in behind will be Azare Landa. Now for the starting lineups. Out in left field will be batting first, number 7, Hannah Krauser. Batting second will be senior number 5, Zamika Foy. She will be catching. Batting third will be senior number 9, Shaylee Pope, out at first base. Number 1, Hannah Abraham, will be at third, batting cleanup. Number 6, Zaylee Perez will be out at shortstop. Number 11, Amberly Garza will be batting 6th. She'll be out at center field. Number 4, Amherst Abraham will be out at second base. She's batting 7th. Batting 8th will be number 8, Sanaya Sanchez. She'll be out in right field. And then taking the circle for your Lady Lopes this evening will be freshman number 15, Sophie Scott.
All right, it'll be good to see Sophie on the mound or in the circle. There's no mound out there, is there? National anthem.
Well, that was the national anthem, and now's any moment now the game will get underway.
May have time to take a look at the standings right now, Russ, before this game gets kicked off. As Post is trying to stay in contention for a playoff berth.
Well, actually, we're in contention for being the number 1 seed in our district for the 2A Division I half of the bracket. As it stands right now, Sundown is in first with an 8-0 district record. Post is in second at 5-3. Tahoka and New Home are tied for at third with a 4-3 district record. Seagraves comes in at fifth at 2-6, and Morton comes in at, depending on which standings you look at, either 0-6 or 0-7. So Morton is still looking for their first win, and as previously mentioned, Morton is taking on Tahoka, and Sundown is taking on New Home. Those are your games around the district so far.
Well, first time I get to see Sophie Scott pitch will be today. She's a freshman. As far as at the plate, she's doing well. The few times she's been up, batting .667, 80% rather, on base percentage. As far as pitching goes, though, she's 3-3 according to the records. She's got 24 strikeouts. Her ERA is 15.5. A lot more stats than that, but we don't have time to go over them. So here we go with the first pitch in just a moment.
Last time these two teams met was back on March 25th, where the Lady Lopes shut out Seagraves 18-0.
All right, Sophie Scott is wearing sunglasses and a mask for protection. First batter for the Seagraves Lady Eagles is Michaela Davis, the third baseman. Bats left. Pops this one in the left field. Oops.
It's caught by Hannah Krauser, and the game is underway, Jim.
Woo, there you go.
That's how we do it.
It's a good, nice line drive out to left field. Krauser, the senior, in her final home game, makes a good catch.
So now this brings up number 15, the pitcher, Gabby Simmenthal. Comes the pitch. Just outside for ball one. Comes the 1-0. Is in there for strike one. Counts now 1-1, 1 out. Comes the pitch. In there for strike two. Counts now 1-2. Comes the pitch. It's popped up, but it goes back to the catcher's net for a foul ball. Count is still 1-2. Still 1 out. We are in the top of the first. Seagraves wearing their black uniforms with red numbers and letters. Here comes the pitch. Down low for ball 2. Counts back even at 2-2. Lady Lopes once again here at home are in their all whites with black letters and numbers with gold, with the Vegas gold trim. Here comes the pitch. Just misses the outside for ball 3. Full count. Here comes the pitch. It is popped up. Zamika tries to go back and get it, but it grazes the catcher's net for another foul ball.
If you just join us again, it is senior game for these Lady Lopes. And the only 3 on the team that are on the field is Hannah Krauser, Zamika Foy, and Shaylee Pope. So good luck to them.
She takes her base, and she is hustling down to first. And quickly comes into the batter's box and takes her time. It's going to be Alyssa Perez. 1 out, 1 runner on for the Lady Eagles. Here comes the 0-0. Runner thought about going. First pitch was taken for a ball. Just a bit high and outside. Comes the 1-0. Well, Zamika did her best, try to frame that as a strike, but umpire says it's a ball.
Russ Sophie Scott in the circle for the Lady Lopes is just pitching her 21st inning of the season, so still pretty much a rookie.
She takes pitch down low. Runner goes to third. Zamika fires down to third.
Oh.
It gets through into the outfield, but the runner stays.
Good backup by the left fielder Krauser to make sure that ball didn't go much further than third base.
Okay, 3-0 count. Runner on, third. Here comes the 3-0. She takes her base. Now the runner's at the corners. I believe this is Sophie's first game back in quite some time. She's been, rumor has it, I've heard she's been sick the last few days, so now this brings up Brianna Davis, the first baseman. There is a double play opportunity here. I keep speaking it into existence. First pitch is outside for a ball. Now the double play vanishes. The runner goes to second with a stolen base. Here comes the 1-0. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Counts back even now at 1-1. Again, there's only 1 out still here in the top of the first. Runners on second and third for Seagraves. Here comes the pitch. Ooh, says it caught the inner part of the zone. Or you could also say that the ump said Brianna Davis is crowding the plate. Either way, it counts 1-2. Comes the pitch. Ball is crushed back to the catcher's net for a foul ball. Count remains at 1-2. Here comes the 1-2 from Scott.
Ooh,
in there,
yeah.
catchers are looking for strike 3.
That was a beautiful off-speed pitch by Sophie.
Okay, now this brings up number 7, Kamari Bibbs, the center fielder. Comes the pitch. He's down low for ball 1. Again, runners on second and third for Seagraves with 2 outs. Here comes the pitch. Outside for ball 2.
Adriana Davis is up next, more than likely the sister to Brianna who just struck out.
Wind looks like it is blowing out. And now I say that's kind of out center field. First pitch goes high. Runner comes. and scores as the throw gets away, but Hannah recovers the ball at third, gets it back to Sophie. No runner currently at third does not come over, so Seagraves takes an early 1-0 lead. And it's a 3-0 count. 2 outs. Top of the first. Here comes the pitch. Down low for another walk. This is going to bring up number 8, Adriana Davis, as Bibbs has a stolen base out at second. Here comes the 0-0 from Scott. Swing and a miss for strike one. Here comes the 0-1. That is popped up out into center field. Amberly makes a sliding catch to retire the side. So Seagraves is able to get 1 run on in their top half of the first. Take a break. Carson Construction scores 1-0. We will have the Lady Lopes bottom half of the first inning. You're watching Post Sports Radio live and free on YouTube.
It's springtime, and that means fleas and ticks are starting to target our little furry pals. Garza County Animal Hospital reminds you that although fleas and ticks are a threat to pets year-round here in West Texas, they become the most active during the warmer months. Get a jump start on your fleas and tick protection and keep your pet healthy and happy from a monthly application to a single pill taken every 3 months. Give us a call today to schedule your appointment. Garza County Animal Hospital, 495-3726.
Welcome back to Senior Night coverage here on Post Sports Radio as your Post Lady Lopes trail the Seagraves Lady Eagles here in the bottom of the first, 1-0, Jim.
Lady Eagles put up 1 run, in the top of the first. No hits, though. 1 error by the Lady Lopes, and then 1 left on base by the Lady Eagles. Let's go to the bottom of the first.
So batting first will be number 7, Hannah Krauser, followed by number 5, Zamika Foy, and number 9, Shaylee Pope. Taking the field for Seagraves will be number 20, Aaron Jolly out in left field. Kamari Bibbs, number 7, out at center. Number 16, Denisha Williams out in right field. Number 10, Michaela Davis out at third. Number 8, Adriana Davis out at shortstop. Number 11, Alyssa Perez out at second. And number 4, Brianna Davis out at first. Pitching will be number 15, Gabby Simmental. And catching will be number 3, Nunu Martinez.
Once again, coming to play, it'll be Hannah Krauser, the senior. And at number 7, bats .375, on-base percentage of .545. She'll be followed by Zamika Foy and Shaylee Pope. All 3 of these girls seniors playing their final game here at Post.
Well, the top 2 are the speedsters. Here comes the pitch. High for ball 1. Here comes the 1-0 from Simmental. Down low on a changeup for ball 2. Counts 2-0. Here comes the pitch. High for ball 3. So here comes the 3-0. Simmental steps back in. Here comes the pitch. Catches the outer corner of the strike zone for strike 1. Counts now 3-1. Here comes the 3-1. It's fouled off for strike 2. Now it's a full count. So, Jim, with Hannah's speed, do you think she shows bunt or do you think she swings away?
You usually don't want to bunt on that third strike because if it goes foul, you're out.
Look how far back the right fielder's playing to the wall. Let's keep that in mind. Here comes the pitch.
Ooh.
That ball is out in the gap between right and center. It goes to the wall. I say that, Hannah turns the corner. She goes to second. Now she goes to third as the throw goes to second. She has a stand-up triple.
She sure does. Senior on senior day gets a triple.
Speaking of seniors, here comes the other speedsters, number 5, Zamika Foy.
So point out, you're talking about the speed of Hannah Krauser. She's got 4 stolen bases. I'm not sure she's ever stolen home, but you might see that here.
So, runner scoring position on third for Foy. Here comes the 0-0. She pops that one up. Third baseman is underneath it. Is it in there for out number 1? Now this brings up senior Shaylee Pope batting third.
All right, Shaylee Pope started most of these games this year. First baseman, senior, 409 at the batting average and on-base percentage of .519.
Comes the 0-0, taken high for ball 1. Jim, now the wind is starting to swirl. I'm watching the flag at the flagpole.
And yes, we have a flag today.
Here comes the 1-0. Down low for ball 2. Get one runner on for the Lady Lopes at third. Here comes the 2-0. Shaylee makes contact, but it goes back to the catcher's net for strike 1. So, catch everybody up to speed. Seagraves has a Carson Construction lead of 1-0. We are in the bottom of the first. Counts 2-1 with 1 out. Here comes the pitch. Pope watches it go outside for ball 3. Counts
Good.
now 3-1.
Good eye by Shaylee. That could have been a strike.
Simmental steps back to the pitcher's line in the circle. Here comes the pitch. Down low, Shaylee will take her base. Now this brings up number 1, Hannah Abraham, with runners on the corners.
Hannah is the leader in the stats offensively and as a pitcher as well. Comes into this game batting .500, 60% time on the base path.
As ball goes low, Shaylee will have a stolen base. As now runners are at second and third. Hannah, last game we called, which was on Tuesday, had an inside the park home run against Tahoka. Here comes the 1-0 to Abraham. That ball is crushed out into center field. Bibbs makes the stop on the hop to her. 1 run does come across, so the score is tied now at 1-1. This brings up number 6, the shortstop, Zaylee Perez. So now the outfield has shifted over. Bibbs is playing somewhat towards left center. There's a big gap between her and the right fielder.
Zaylee's batting .537.
She crushes that one out into right field. It bounces to the fielder. 1 run comes across as the runners advance. As Hannah advances to second, Zaylee will stand on first, so it's an RBI single. Now here comes Amberly Garza. Your Lady Lopes take the lead. Again, there's 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Comes the 0-0 to Amberly. She makes contact with the ball, but it goes back to the catcher's net for a foul ball. As now the wind is picking up a little bit. Getting runners on first and second. Here comes the 0-1. Amberly pops it up. I got it, you got it. Third base has it for out number 2.
Frees the crowd, but they called it off nicely.
It's one of those that I wonder if the umpire could have also called an infield fly, but we'll never know.
No, we won't at this point.
So now this brings up number 4, Amaris Abraham. Comes the pitch. Amaris hits that one out into right field. There's 1 run will come across and score. Runners are now at the corners.
Yeah, Hannah Abraham comes from second And Zaylee Perez now at third on a base hit by Amberly Garza.
So now is the catcher. I mean, we typically see her at catcher, but she's a right fielder today, Sanaya Sanchez.
I want to correct myself. That was Amherst Abraham with the single.
She takes the first pitch down low for a ball. Amherst has a stolen base. Runners now at second and third. Here comes the 1-0 to Sanaya. Over the head, runners do not advance.
Luckily they did stay put because that was a good play by the catcher.
Counts now 2-0. There are 2 outs. We are in the bottom of the first.
Sanaya usually catching for us, playing right field tonight, batting .327.
Here comes the 2-0. High for ball 3. Simmental goes through her pre-pitch routine. Here comes the 3-0. High, ball 4. Bases are now loaded for Sophie Scott. Pitcher. Number 15 taking on number 15. Black shirt, white shirt. Who's going to prevail? Here comes the 0-0. Swing and a miss for strike 1.
Sophie Scott, a freshman, batting .667.
Here comes the 0-1 from Simmental. She watches that go low for a strike. Catches just the lower part of the strike zone. Here comes the pitch. Taken for a ball. Counts now, should be at 1-2.
2 balls, 1 strike.
Yep, counts 1-2. Just shows the umpire. Here comes the pitch. Catches her looking, strike 3. Side is retired. Lady Lopes do take the lead. However, they leave 3 runners stranded. As your Carson Construction scores, we get set to start the top of the second. Is 3-1 in favor of the Lady Lopes. You're watching senior night coverage here on Post Sports Radio, live and free on YouTube.
Post Dispatch is proud to support all of our local high school sports. They're excited to bring you all the weekly scores and highlights of your favorite teams, as well as keeping you informed about everything going on in the community. Subscribe today. You can choose to have your newspaper mailed to your home or business, or subscribe online and get the news when it's convenient for you. They're proud to serve the community and proud to serve Garza County. The Post Dispatch, community news at the finest.
Welcome back to Post Sports Radio's coverage of senior night action here on YouTube. Here on Post Sports Radio on YouTube, as your Lady Lopes get set to start the top half of the second inning with a Carson Construction score of 3-1. Jim?
All right, let's see. Post puts up 3 runs in the bottom of the first to take the lead, 3-1 as a Carson Construction score. 4 hits. Maybe 1 error out there. I'm still looking at that. And I think we left 2 on the base path.
Left 3.
3, actually. So, yeah, consider that. 1 little hit there. All right, first pitch to the next batter.
It's going to be Aaron Jolly, followed by Denisha Williams and Nunu Martinez. So we're 7, 8, and 9 hole hitters. Comes the pitch from Scott. It's taken for strike 1. Here comes the 0-1. Grounded to Hannah, to Shaylee. It goes off her glove.
That's unusual there for Shaylee to miss that. So got an error on the first baseman to put Williams on first.
So now this brings up Denisha Williams. Here comes the 0-0. Taken for strike 1. So double play opportunities back alive for the Lady Lopes. This is how you can rectify that, by turning double plays. Here comes the pitch. Too far inside on the curveball for ball 1. Here comes the 1-1 from Sophie. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Count is 1-2. And we're in the top of the second. Here comes the pitch. Outside. Bounces off the glove of Foy as a runner. Thought about going to third, but she will stay at second. So it counts back even at 2-2. Comes the pitch. Ooh, that's a good take by Williams. It's now it's a full count. Sophie takes her time. Here comes the 3-2. It bounces off. But the catcher runner will slowly take her base. She's held at first. Now this brings up Nunu Martinez. Here comes the pitch. Just a bit outside for ball 1. And runners on the corners for Seagraves. Here comes the 1-0. Taken for strike 1. Runner advances to second. She has a stolen base. Counts back even at 1-1. Here comes the pitch. Just misses the inner part of the zone for for ball 2. Here comes the 2-1 from Scott. Down low for ball 3.
Trying to keep up with the guys, the Antelopes playing at sundown. No score yet, and it is bottom of the second.
She takes the first pitch, watch it go outside. Bases are now loaded. Now we're back to the top of the order. This is going to be Michaela Davis.
Michaela Davis on the first pitch of the game, line drive shot to left field, and there was Hannah Krauser there to catch it.
Lefty on righty. Here comes the pitch. She showed bunt, but it's a strike. Try to go for the suicide squeeze.
Yeah. It's a little bit harder in softball than it would be baseball, I would imagine.
Comes the 0-1. Little pop foul. Goes just over the glove of, I believe that was Zaley. Yeah, as that's Zaley now playing second. They swapped Zaley and Zaley and Amherst. I want to make sure, got my ducks in a row as runner does come across and score for Seagraves.
So that's Aaron Jolly scores the first run of this inning for them now with 2 runs, 3-2 the Carson Construction score.
First pitch is taken for a strike. Comes the pitch from Scott. That is going to go foul. Count is now 0-2.
What we need right here, Russ, the Lady Lopes need a line drive double play, which is usually about the only way we can get one in softball.
Well, we had one go against us against New Home, so it is possible.
Always.
Here comes the 0-2 from Scott.
Nope.
It's popped. Well, you got it. It's out into center field. Bounces off her glove. 1 run will score, and Seagraves will take the lead. So runners are now on first and second. It's a quick meeting at the mound as Hannah initiated the meeting just to calm Sophie down a little bit. It's Amherst talking to her now, giving her some reassurance, as now this brings up Alyssa Perez. Comes the pitch, swing and a miss. Runners advance to second and third. Lady Lopes desperately need to get the first out and do their best to stop the bleeding. Counts 0-1. Comes the pitch. Grounded foul down the third base line for strike 2. Counts now 0-2. No outs, top of the second. Seagraves leading 4-3. Here comes the pitch. Goes outside for ball 1. Good stop by Zamika to hold the runners where they are. Counts back at 1-2. Comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. There's out number 1. Now this brings up number 4, Brianna Davis.
Davis struck out her first time up looking.
Again, runners on second and third for Seagraves. 1 out now, top of the second. This takes the first pitch down low for a ball. Here comes the 1-0. That is popped up, but it goes foul. Counts now going to be at 1-2. Here so everybody takes their time getting back into their spots. Here comes the pitch. Catches the strike zone. Now it's 1-2. Here comes the pitch from Sophie. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Pickoff back to third is not in time. It just holds the runner at third. 2 outs. This brings up Kamari Bibbs.
And Kamari walked her first time up. Didn't get past first.
Here comes the 0-0. Takes the first pitch inside for a ball. Counts 1-0. 2 outs. Top of the second. She fouls off the next pitch for strike 1. Again, Seagraves with a Carson Construction score of 4-3. They took the lead earlier with no outs in the inning. Here comes the pitch. Taken for strike 2. Here comes the pitch. That is popped up. Center fielder group makes the catch. Side is retired, but Seagraves takes the lead once again here in the top of the second. Your Carson Construction score as we head to the bottom of the second is 4-3 in favor of the Lady Eagles. You're watching Senior Day coverage here on Post Sports Radio, live and free on YouTube.
Post Lady Lope Softball is powered by La Isabel Boutique, a girls' boutique with clothes, accessories, and custom hair bows. The boutique is located at Avenue H and East Main. The Post Area Chamber of Commerce, serving posts in all of Garza County. Visit postcitytexas.com. The Post Methodist Church, making disciples of Jesus Christ. Antelope Wash and Dry, a clean, affordable laundromat now open at 303 South Broadway. And Happy State Bank, a division of Centennial Bank, member FDIC. Post Sports Radio thanks these sponsors for making Bold Gold Softball live and free on Facebook and YouTube.
Welcome back to Senior Day coverage here on Post Sports Radio. Your Carson Construction scores. We get set to start the bottom of the second. It's 4-3 in favor of the Lady Eagles. And here's Jim with a recap of last half inning.
Okay, well, the Lady Eagles take a lead 4-3. They get it back. They got 1 hit in that inning, or I should say 2. And once again on 3 runs. No errors by the Lady Lopes. And looking at pitches for Post, I just lost that. We'll get to it here in a minute. Go ahead, Russ.
This brings up Hannah Krauser. She takes the first pitch down low for a ball.
All right, back to Hannah. Okay, she got a triple her first time up on senior night. Ended up scoring for the Lady Lopes.
Here comes the 1-0 from Simmental. She grounds right back to Simmental. Throw to first is in time for out number 1. Just a little slow roller back to the pitcher.
All right, Sophie Scott pitching for the Lady Lopes. 2 innings now. Has given up 2 hits, 4 runs, and strikeouts. She's got 3. Looking good there. Has walked 5, though, so it kind of counteracts that.
Brings up number 5, the catcher, Zamika Foy. The first pitch goes over everybody's head for ball number 1. Lady Lopes trying to tie the game here. That's crushed out into right field. Left field goes to the wall. But forget I'm dyslexic. Zamika rounds second. She goes for third. Is wide. She's in there safely at third.
Awesome shot by Foy.
Is now runner in prime scoring position now for Shaylee Pope.
And she's all dirty, diving headfirst into third. A little dust in her face. She's trying to get off now. Clean up her glasses a little. Ready to roll with 1 out. Shaylee walked the first time up and stole a base. Scored.
Takes the first pitch down low for a ball.
Shaylee batting .409 coming into the game.
Again, that gap between Bibbs and Williams, between center and right field, comes the 1-0 down low for ball 2. As we have a quick timeout for.
It's a shoelace timeout.
Yep.
You only get one of those a game per team, I think.
We're back ready to roll. Shaylee steps back in. Count is 2-0. 1 out, bottom of the second. Comes the pitch. High for ball 3.
So to point out 2 of our 3 seniors starting today both have a triple each. Krauser and Foy. Now Shaylee needs one here.
Here we go. Shaylee pops that one up. It's foul. Good effort by the catcher, Martinez, to try to make a play on the ball. Counts now 3-1. As now Bibbs has scooted over more towards straightaway center. Here comes the 3-1. High, ball 4. Shaylee will take her base. Now this brings up Hannah Abraham with runners on the corners.
See the tying run at third and the go-ahead at first. Let's see what happens here. Got one of your best hitters at the plate, Hannah Abraham, batting .500.
Here comes the 0-0. That ball is hit right back to shortstop. Shaylee doesn't realize what's going on to throw to first, and it's a double play.
My goodness.
It's unfortunate. Side is retired as Lady Lopes do leave one stranded as they're unable to get the bats going more. As your Carson Construction scores, we head into the top of the third. Is still 4-3 in favor of Seagraves. You're watching Post Sports Radio live and free on YouTube.
We play the greatest country music ever recorded. Tune in anytime and anywhere to KSSL 107.3, 94.1, KSSLFM.com, and on our free mobile app. All your favorites are here.
Hi, I'm Alan Jackson.
Hi, this is Mark Chestnut.
Hi, I'm Clint Black.
We've got them all.
Hi, this is Ronnie Millsap.
Hi, this is Patty Loveless.
Hi, everybody, this is Garth Brooks.
Hey, this is George Strait.
I've been listening to this radio station forever.
Proud supporters of high school sports. We are KSSL.
Welcome back to Post Sports Radio's coverage of senior night action here at David Nichols Park here on Post Sports Radio. As your Carson Construction scores, we get set to start. The top of the third is 4-3 still in favor of Seagraves, Jim.
Yeah, it's hard to take when Post is getting ready to put up 2 runs real quick. All of a sudden there's a double play. As I was telling you, Russ, usually on a line drive you got runners on base. If you're not paying attention, you're going to see a DP, and that's what Seagraves did. And so Post, no runs, 1 hit, a triple at that by Zamika Foy. No errors and 2 left on base.
So now coming up to bat is going to be Adriana Davis, the shortstop. The Lady Lopes are still trying to stack on success. We got one more warm-up throw from Foy down to second. As I say that, it's because the Lady Lopes are here in the month of April. They're 3-0 so far entering today.
Should be Adriana Davis, followed by Erin Jolly and Denisha Williams.
Davis swings and misses at that one for strike 1.
Davis flew out to center field her first time up in the first.
Comes the 0-1. That is popped foul. Everybody takes their time. It's with Adriana Davis. This is righty on righty. Here comes the 0-2. It's going to be grounded to Zaley. Throw to first is in time. Out number 1. Now this brings up Erin Jolly, the left fielder.
Let's see, Erin got on an error, advanced on a pass ball, and ended up scoring for the Lady Eagles.
So here comes the 0-0. Is caught on a line drive play by Hannah Abraham for out number 2.
That's what you call a shoestring catch. One thing, we've seen a lot of good play at third base from the Lady Lopes in the last couple games. And last time, the one who just caught this was on the pitcher's mound. So no matter who's out there is doing well.
Denisha Williams takes the first pitch inside for a ball. Count is 1-0. 2 outs here in the top of the third. That is short. Foy to Pope. Oh, it's off of the glove. It's
another error on the first baseman.
Well, that's also more of a bad angle for Foy to throw that to as well.
Yeah, it was a tough one. It was just about 10 feet in front of the plate where she picked it up.
So now this brings up Nunu Martinez.
She walked her first time up. That's all I got.
This first pitch is taken for a strike. Count is 0-1. Again, there is 2 outs here in the top of the third. Outside for ball 1. Here comes the 1-1. Ball goes out into the outfield. Center fielder Emily Garza makes the play. Runner is now, the ball goes off of the glove of Amaris. Now the runners are on the corners. As I believe she was getting ready to, Amaris was getting ready to catch that ball and fire it over to try to make a play at Hannah at third. But we'll never know, as now we're back to the top of the order. This is Michaela Davis now.
Davis line drive to left field, or center field rather, and got a base hit in the second.
Pitch is taken outside for ball one as Martinez advances to second on a stolen base. Comes the 1-0. Short grounder to Hannah. Throw to first is in time. Side is retired. Ooh. The Seagraves leaves 2 runners on. The Lady Lopes hold Seagraves scoreless as we get set to start the bottom of the third. Your Carson Construction score is still 4-3. You're watching Senior Day coverage here on Post Sports Radio, live and free on YouTube.
It's springtime, and that means fleas and ticks are starting to target our little furry pals. Garza County Animal Hospital reminds you that although fleas and ticks are a threat to pets year-round here in West Texas, they become the most active during the warmer months. Get a jump start on your fleas and tick protection and keep your pet healthy and happy from a monthly application to a single pill taken every 3 months. Give us a call today to schedule your appointment. Garza County Animal Hospital, 495-3726.
Welcome back to Post Sports Radio's coverage of senior night action here at David Nichols Park. As your Carson Construction scores, we get set to start the Lady Lopes half of the third inning. It's still 4-3, Jim.
That's right. In the top of the third, no runs scored. Good defense by the Lady Lopes to stop that. Just 1 hit, 1 error by the Lady Lopes, and stranded 2 on the base path for the Lady Eagles.
So now coming up to bat is going to be Zaylee Perez.
Zaylee, one of our top hitters as well, batting .537 on the whole season.
No changes made in the infield so far. For Seagraves, that is. Here comes the 0-0. Zaylee takes it inside for ball one.
Zaylee got a base hit her first time up in the first inning. Did not score.
Comes the 1-0. Just high, and I mean just high for ball two. Counts 2-0 now. Here comes the pitch. Good swing from Zaylee, but it just tips it for a foul ball. Comes the 2-1. Oh, swing and a miss for strike 2.
Off-speed pitch got her swinging.
Comes the 2-2 from Simmental. The ball is grounded to Davis. Throw to Davis is in time for out number 1. The 5-3 Davis to Davis connection. Now this brings up Amberly Garza.
I guess both teams have got good third basemen. It was a nice play by Davis.
Here comes the 0-0. That ball is crushed out into the outfield, goes back to the wall out in right field. Amberly will go to second. She'll stand up on second with a double. Throwback holds her at second base, as now this brings up Amaris Abraham. That ball was so close to going over the wall. Wanted to make sure the outfielder was able to make a play on it before I said anything.
I think just a one hopper from the fence, so a nice shot by Garza.
All right, so this brings up Amaris Abraham now.
Amaris with a base hit in the first inning.
She takes that pitch high for a ball. And runner on at second. Still here in the bottom of the third with 1 out. Here comes the pitch. Down low for ball 2. So far, catcher hasn't had hardly anything go past her the last 0-1 in the third inning. Here comes the 2-0. Amherst gets a piece of it, but fouls it back for Foul ball. Again, your Carson Construction score is 4-3 here in the bottom of the third. Lady Lopes still looking to tie the game. Here comes the pitch. Just misses the zone for ball 3. We'll take it. Counts 3-1. Here comes the pitch. Ball 4. Amherst takes her base. So now this brings up the pitcher, Sophie Scott. I'm sorry, no, this brings up Sanaya Sanchez. I was already looking ahead.
Sanaya walked the first time up, and as far as she got was first base.
So Sophie Scott will be on deck, followed by Hannah Krauser. And runners on first and second. Here comes the pitch. High and outside for ball 1.
Got a pickle.
Oh, we got a pickle. Runner advances to third off of that.
Nice.
So now runners are in the corners.
You'll see a lot of antics by Amaris Abraham on the base path. She'll try to make, it's called cat and mouse. And the mouse is still alive.
Here comes the 1-0. Down low for a ball. The runner, that is, Amherst will now have a stolen base. She just trotted her way along, Jim.
Nice.
Nobody paid any attention to her.
Okay.
So now runners in scoring position now. Here comes the 2-0 from Simmental. Down low for ball 3.
That puts the go-ahead run at second base now with Amherst Abraham.
3-0 count. Here comes the pitch from Simmental. In there, ball 4, bases loaded. Now this brings up the pitcher, Sophie Scott.
Sophie, first time up in the first inning, ended the inning with a strikeout.
Here comes the 0-0. High and outside for ball 1. Amberly on third, Amherst on second, Sanaya on first.
Sophie, a freshman, is batting .667.
Here comes the 1-0. Down low for ball 2. Sophie looking to bring that run across from third by any means necessary. Here comes the 2-0. Down low for ball 3.
A walk's as good as a hit.
Comes the 3-0. Outside ball 4. Sophie takes her base. Amberly will score. Tie game here in the bottom of the third. As now we have a timeout initiated by the catcher, as there is going to be a circle visit by Coach Destiny Saldivar. I believe this is her first year at Seagraves, correct, Jim?
Correct, Russ. Destiny and her assistant as well, Seth Pittman. Eric Heredia was the head coach last year, had a medical issue where he couldn't continue as a coach, so I'm sure they miss him, but they welcome in Destiny Saldivar as the new head coach.
So it is not a pitching change, but just a mound visit to make sure that everybody is on the same page. Now the umpire starts making his way over now to let everybody know your time's about run out.
Coming up, Hannah Krauser with bases loaded. She is 1 for 2 on the day with a triple and scored as well. The first run for the Lady Lopes.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, Jim, I believe there are some wheels out there on the bases as well. Because remember, Hannah is speedy. Could have a surprise suicide squeeze drag bunt if you wanted to here.
That would be nice right here. Hannah has bunted quite a bit over the season.
She pops that one foul for strike one.
On deck is Zamika Foy.
Now the wind looks like it's blowing out at right center. Of course, as I say that, the flag shifts a little bit, so. Here comes the 0-1. That is down low. It gets past Martinez, but runners hold their positions. Counts back even now at 1-1.
Amherst Abraham knew good enough not to try to make that because that ball came right off the backstop.
So Lady Lopes have tied the game here in the bottom of the third with one out. Count is 1-1. Comes the pitch from Simmental. Outside for ball two. Go-ahead run on third is Amherst. Sanaya on second. Sophie Scott leaves still on at first. Here comes the 2-1. That ball is hit out into center field. One run will score as it was hit just shallow enough that it just advances everybody a position. If it was hit a little bit deeper, two runners would score. Now this brings up Zamika Foy.
All right, so that's a RBI for Hannah Krauser, the senior, bringing up Zamika, who has flown out to third base the first time up, and then got a triple herself in the second inning.
Here comes the 0-0. Outside for ball one. This is where the Lady Lopes need to capitalize. And just pile it on like we know they're capable of. As I knock on wood. Here comes the 1-0. Yeah, I'm going to be quiet. That's brought down the pipe for strike one. Seen a lot more of those announcers jinx in the spring sports than I did in football. I don't know what's up this year. Here comes the 1-1 from Simmental. So he has to duck. All right, here we come. A runner will score. Everybody advances a position.
All right, looks like Sanaya Sanchez comes across on a pass ball, and everybody else advances.
So that puts, unless there was a pinch runner that I didn't see, that puts Scott at third.
Yes.
And Krauser at second.
Right.
Here comes the 2-1. That goes wide. Now here comes Sophie.
Ooh.
Safe.
She got underneath the tag.
Yes, she did. Now you're in a precarious position if you're Seagraves, because now arguably one of the fastest players on the team in Hannah Krauser standing on third base.
All right, so a 7-4 lead now by the Lady Lopes.
3-1. Foy, you can say, does have a strike to give. There's one out. We are in the bottom of the third. Carson Construction scores now in favor of the Lady Lopes. Comes 3-1 from Simmental. That is wide outside. Foy will take her base. Now runners back on the corners. Foy wasted no time getting down to first. Plays some mind games of her own. So now this brings up Shaylee Pope.
Shaylee batting .409, has walked twice today. Scored once.
Here comes the 0-0. Down low, Foy goes. She'll have a stolen base. Count is 1-0 now for Pope. Runners at second and third. Here comes the 1-0 from Simmental. Grounded to third, to first. Run scores, and a runner advances. So that's a sacrifice ground out by Shaylee Pope. So she was able to bring in a run.
Yeah, and then Zamika Foy advances to third. So still a good situation.
So now is the cleanup hitter, Hannah Abraham. As now we trade power for power at the plate.
Be the ninth batter for the Lady Lopes this inning.
Comes the 0-0. Hannah watches that one go inside for a strike. Count is 1-0. Again, there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Hannah pops that one. Makes solid contact. Brianna Davis is able to make a play to retire the side. However, your Lady Lopes have almost blown this game wide open as they take an 8-4 Carson Construction lead. So we get set to start Seagraves' top half of the fourth. You are watching Post Sports Radio Senior Night coverage here live and free on YouTube.
Are you looking to do some work around the house and would like to hire a contractor who does every part of the job? Then give Carson Construction a call at 806-626-3811. Greg Carson and his crew have over 40 years of combined experience and can do new construction, remodeling, and concrete work. Plan now for your spring and summer projects and call the guys who pride themselves on their work. 806-626-3811. Carson Construction, building a lasting relationship with each customer. Call 806-626-3811.
Welcome back to Post Sports Radio's coverage of Senior Night action here at David Nicholas Park, where your Carson Construction score is now in favor of the Lady Lopes, 8-4, Jim.
Yeah, the bottom of the third looked good for the Lady Lopes, taking the lead and increasing it to 8 on 5 runs, with 5 runs on 2 hits. No errors and 1 left on base as we go now to the top of the fourth. And who do you got coming up? We got Gabby Simmental.
Yeah, I think so. Is that who you have?
I think so, yeah. Gabby Simmental should lead off. She's the pitcher, followed by Alyssa Perez and then Brianna Davis.
Mind everybody who's out there on defense for the Lady Lopes. Hannah Krauser still at left field. Amberly Garza still at center. Sanaya Sanchez still at right. Shaylee Pope remains at first. Zaylee Perez. They switched with Amaris, I think earlier in the either second or third inning. Zaylee is now at second, Amaris now at short. Hannah Abraham remains at third. Samika Foy still catching, Sophie Scott still pitching.
All right, and this should be Gabby Simmental, the pitcher for the Seagraves Lady Eagles.
She thought about showing bunt, but she sees the ball go outside, pulls the bat back for ball 1.
Simmental is 1 for 1 today. She also walked, scored in the first inning.
Here comes the 0-1. It's outside for ball 2. Again, this is number 15 on number 15. Black shirt versus white shirt. Who's going to prevail and come out on top? Here comes the 2-0. Outside for ball 3. Sophie takes her time. Here comes the 3-0. Fouled off of the bat for strike 1.
Attempted bunt there. But Sophie Scott, if I'm reading this right, she's about to throw her 70th pitch of the game.
Here comes the 3-1. Bunted foul. So now you're in dangerous territory here. You bunt that one more time for a foul ball, you're out, correct? I think.
I do believe. That's the old rules, and I'm an old guy, so they may have changed them in the meantime.
I know they changed it at college and baseball in Major League this year. Oh, as that was just close, as she wastes no time going down to first. Now this brings up Alyssa Perez.
Alyssa got on a walk in the first, struck out in the second, so she's 0 for 1.
Comes the pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 1. Simmental stays at first.
Brianna Davis, the first baseman, is on deck for the Lady Eagles.
Comes the pitch. That is swung over the top. Strike 2, throw down to first. Holds Simmental at first. If you're just joining us, hopefully you're recovering from your sunburn like I am at this region at the area track meet yesterday, and you're watching us live on YouTube.
Yeah, Russ put together a nice package of video highlights from that meet. We ran it in the pregame, so if you didn't see it, you can always know when this game's over and it's archived. You can go back and watch it in the pregame, in the early part.
Pinch runner now. Is going to be number 2.
That is Amaya Branch.
She pinch runs now for the Simmental. You can also stay tuned to my Facebook page. I might treat y'all later and just upload that to Facebook. Might do that. I did that with Southland, and I sent him there, sent Coach Marino that highlight video, and he appreciated it. So if Coach Patterson if Coach Patterson and Coach Davis, if you're watching and listening, I'll send that your way as well.
By the way, congratulations, coaches, on a good outing once again.
All right, back to softball. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. That is popped out in Krauser's way. It goes off her glove. Good backup by Garza. She's able to recover it. Throw back to Amherst. Goes through her glove as the runner does score. The runner advances to second. After all of that, now this brings up number 4, Brianna Davis.
So that's Perez with a RBI single to left center and gets the second on the throw.
Jim, I don't know if you go back and if y'all can go back and rewind that play. It looked like Hannah got there a little bit too quickly as the first pitch is taken outside for ball 1. Again, it looked like Krauser got there a little bit too quick, and it just bounced off of her palm. It just hit the palm and bounced out. Here comes the 1-0. Good location, but it's taken for ball 2. Everybody takes their time. Here comes the 2-0 from Scott. Is in there for strike 1. So far, Blue's been consistent with that location. On whichever part of the plate is you're inside, he's been very consistent with it. Here comes the 2-1. Down low for ball 3. Davis bats lefty. Takes a pitch for strike 2. Thought she was going to trot down to first. So it's a full count now. Runner in scoring position for the Lady Eagles out there on second. No outs. Top of the 4th. The ball is crushed. Goes Krauser's way. Good. Lance Fair is able to make a play. 1 run comes across. Throw back in time. No, back into the field. Runner advances to third on the throw. Carson Construction score is now 8-6. No outs. And now this brings up Brianna Davis as Coach Germer calls time. As we have a pitching change now, as Hannah will move to the mound. Sophie looks like she will come out. Sanaya looks like she's going to catch. So while all of that happens, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we will go over all the changes made in the infield. Your Carson Construction score is 8-6 in favor of the Lady Lopes. You are watching Post Sports Radio's coverage of Lady Lope softball, live and free on YouTube.
We play the greatest country music ever recorded. Tune in anytime and anywhere to KSSL 107.3, 94.1, KSSLFM.com, and on our free mobile app. All your favorites are here.
Hi, I'm Alan Jackson.
Hi, this is Mark Chestnut.
Hi, I'm Clint Black.
We've got them all.
Hi, this is Ronnie Millsap.
Hi, this is Patty Loveless.
Hi, everybody, this is Garth Brooks.
Hey, this is George Strait.
I've been listening to this radio station forever.
Proud supporters of high school sports. We are KSSL.
The community of Post continues to be committed to the Post Antelopes, just as Happy State Bank is committed to our customers. Perseverance, commitment, and resilience are key ingredients for success both on and off the field of play. Whether you are cheering on the Post Antelopes, starting a new business, or planning for the future, Happy State Bank is here for all your life's moments. Let us be your partner at Happy State Bank. Visit us in person or at happybank.com.
Happy State Bank, a division of Centennial Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
All right, welcome back to Post Sports Radio's coverage of Lady Lope softball. As Sanaa is now, here's your changes. Hannah Abraham comes in to the game to pitch in relief of Sophie Scott. Number 10, Serenity Sanchez, comes into the game at third base. Zamika Foy moves over to right field. And Sanaya Sanchez will come into the game and catch for Hannah. So, Jim, I guess I believe it's after this inning is when the stats are fully in control for Hannah. So now these stats will have an effect here on Sophie because it acts. Baseball stats are weird. The ball is popped up. Hannah calls everybody off, makes the play for out number 1. So now this brings up number 8, Adriana Davis. Getting one runner on third for Seagraves. As Hannah takes her time. Here comes the 0-0. Taken for strike 1.
Adriana Davis at the plate. The shortstop is at C. 0 for 2 with 1 fly out and a ground out.
Here comes the 0-1. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Getting one runner on third for Seagraves. 1 out, top of the 4th. Taken for ball 1. Hannah takes her time. Goes through her routine. Here comes the 1-2. Catches her looking for strike 3.
Right. Yep.
Yep.
She didn't want to leave the batter's box. Don't blame her.
And now this brings up Aaron Jolly.
Aaron Jolly, let's see, got on an error and scored in the second. Line drive to third base in the third.
She takes the first pitch outside for a ball. Here comes the 1-0. Down low for ball 2. Getting 2 outs, top of the 4th, counts 2-0. Here for Abraham pitching now. This pitch is fouled back to the backstop for strike 1. Everybody's back set. Counts 2-1. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss.
She swung.
For strike 2.
Wow. Okay.
Counts now 2-2.
Scoreboard's a little out of sync right now. There are 2 outs, though. You're saying 2 balls and 2 strikes?
There's strike 3. Seagraves will leave and Lady Eagle stranded on third. As we get set to start the Lady Lopes half of the 4th inning, your Carson Construction score is 8-6. You are watching Post Sports Radio's coverage of Lady Lopes softball on YouTube.
Are you looking to do some work around the house and would like to hire a contractor who does every part of the job? Then give Carson Construction a call at 806-626-3811. Greg Carson and his crew have over 40 years of combined experience and can do new construction, remodeling, and concrete work. Plan now for your spring and summer projects and call the guys who pride themselves on their work. 806-626-3811. Carson Construction, building a lasting relationship with each customer. Call 806-626-3811.
Welcome back to Post Sports Radio's coverage of senior night action here on Post Sports Radio here at David Nichols Park as we get set to start the bottom of the 4th. Your Carson Construction score is 8-6, Jim.
The Lady Eagles put up 2 runs to make the score a little bit more competitive, 8-6. Hits 2 by the Lady Lopes, no errors out in the field, and 1 left on base. So here we go to the bottom of the 4th.
This is going to be Zaylee Perez.
She'll be followed by Amberly Garza and Amaris Abraham. I think Zaylee started off the 3rd inning as well for the Lady Lopes.
She swings and fouls that pitch off for strike 1.
Zaylee grounded out to 3rd base last inning, base hit in the 1st. 1 for 2 today.
Here comes the 0-1. Ooh, good location for Simmental. Place that for a strike. Told you, Jim, it's that outer part depending on what side you're on. He's been very consistent with that all day today.
Good up.
Good eye for Zaylee to take that for ball 1. Here comes the 1-2 now from Simmental. Taken for ball 2.
Zaylee, the top hitter on the team with a .537 average.
Counts back even at 2-2. Here comes the pitch. That is popped up. It is.
It's fair.
It's fair, so that's going to be a little infield single that you don't see every day.
We'll give an E to the pitcher, though, Russ. She got her glove on, just couldn't hold on.
Well, it never hit her glove. It bounced off, thinking like it.
No, it hit her glove.
It looked, well, to me, it looked like it bounced off the dirt and off her stomach and the way the ball rolled. But
we'll have to watch the replay later. we don't have instant replay.
As this brings up Amberly Garza now. Try to give you the benefit of the doubt, Zaylee. Amberly watches that go in the strike zone for strike 1.
I should admit these 64-year-old eyes are not as good as yours, so maybe you're correct there. A few things I missed.
Here comes the 0-1 outside for ball 1. No, I'm trying everything in my power to make sure that she got it in a little infield single, but it's all right. Here comes the 1-1 now from Simmental. As that is popped straight up. As now Simmental is able to make a clean play on that for the first out of the game. She gets the high five from Michaela Davis. As now this brings up Amaris.
Amaris having a good game today. A base hit, a walk, scored when she got on base with the walk. Stole a base as well.
Comes the 0-0. That goes wide. Back to the backstop. Zaylee is in there for the stolen base at second. She was able to beat the throw over to second. It counts now 1-0 for Amaris. She makes solid contact. It goes foul as the third baseman's able to make a play for out number 2. This brings up now the catcher, Sanaya.
Sanaya Sanchez started out in right field, as Russ just pointed out, now catching. Has been up twice, walked twice, scored on the second time.
Goes the pitch. Ooh, as Sanaya has to back out of the way of that one. She comes up laughing about it.
He's about to walk again, it looks like. Sanaya has a pretty good batting average as well, .327.
Counts 1-0. Again, there's 2 outs as we are in the bottom of the 4th. Comes the 1-0. Oh, that is fouled, and it goes off the face mask of the ump.
Yeah, he's okay. I told you about my nephew, who's a college baseball umpire, took one to the throat a couple weeks ago. He's doing okay.
I believe the count is 1-1. Here comes the pitch, taken high for a ball. It counts 2-1. Zaylee Perez out on second in scoring position. Oh, swing and a miss. That was just a reactionary swing. Counts back even now at 2-2. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. It's drop, third strike. Throw to first is in time for out number 3. Well, the Lady Lopes are able to get a runner on, but she's left stranded at second. As we get set to start the top of the 5th, your Carson Construction score is 8-6. We're listening and hopefully watching as well. Post Sports Radio live and free on YouTube.
This message is sponsored by Judge Lee and Marcia Norman.
Texas 4-H is a club for kids and teenagers ages 5 to 18, and it's big. It's the largest youth development program in Texas. 4-H is for kids with animals and so much more, like shooting sports, food science, healthy living, fashion, and photography. Contact the Garza County Extension Office to sign up by calling 806-495-4400 or visit 4honline.com.
This is brought to you by Judge Lee and Marcia Norman, supporting what's good for Post and Garza County.
Welcome back to Post Sports Radio's coverage of senior night action here on Post Sports Radios. We're live from David Nichols Park. Hannah Abraham remains in the mound as for pitcher for the Lady Lopes as we await Sanaya Sanchez to come out and catch for her. As Jim has a quick recap of that last half inning.
Lady Lopes couldn't put any runs on the board, unfortunately, but no hits, one error by the defense, and one left on base. Top of the 5th coming up.
So now, I believe this is going to be Denisha Williams.
You are correct.
Actually,
then Nunu Martinez.
This is going to be number 6.
Got a pinch hitter. Number 6 is Elise Soto. Bats right. She's ready to go, and the ump's now ready.
Comes the pitch. Just a tad bit too far inside for ball 1. Here comes the 1-0. Outside for ball 2.
On deck is Nunu Martinez. Then the top of the order goes to Michaela Davis.
Comes the pitch. Whoa. It goes outside for ball 3. Sanaya takes her time getting back behind the plate. Umpire signals he's ready. Here comes the 3-0 from Hannah. Oh, that is taken for strike 1.
You hear that cheer by the Lady Lopes dugout talking about let's make it 3 in a row. The last 2 batters in the last inning, Hannah struck out, so that's what they're referring to.
Here comes the 3-1. Is down low for ball 4. The Seagraves had a little chant of their own going on when the count was 3-0. They were chanting for how many balls that Hannah had threw to her. Now this brings up Nunu Martinez. Heard the same chant from Texas A&M earlier this year. I was watching their games on ESPN+.
Nunu, the catcher, with a base hit and a walk.
She takes the first pitch down low for ball 1.
After Martinez, top of the order with Michaela Davis.
Comes the 1-0. That's swung and missed for strike 1. There's a count now at 1-1. Reminder, we are in the top of the 5th. Your Carson Construction score is 8-6 in favor of the Lady Lopes. That ball is popped foul for strike 2.
Lady Lopes have won 3 in a row in April. This could be the 4th. They can hold on to this.
Comes the 1-2. Slow down low. Soto advances to second. Count is now 2-2. Again, no outs, top of the 5th. Here comes the 2-2. It's now a full count. Martinez thought for a moment about swinging, but stopped herself. All right, full count now for Abraham. Here comes the pitch to Martinez. Catchers are looking for strike 3. Out number 1. Now we're back to the top of the order. This is Michaela Davis, the third baseman.
Davis with a base hit and a line drive out and a ground down, so she's 1 for 3.
Here comes the 0-0. That ball is popped up. Sanaya tried to make a play on it, but it goes back to the catcher's net for a foul ball. One out. Top of the 5th. Comes 0-1. That ball is crushed. It goes back. It's foul.
Oh, that was out. Did it go out?
That went out, but it's a foul ball.
What a shot. I was just thinking about Michaela Davis. Obviously likes to hit the ball. She's line drive to center field and a ground out to third on a hard one and a base hit. Then she just hits it over the fence, but it was foul.
Get a runner on second for Seagraves. Here comes the 0-2 from Abraham. Fouled off for another strike. Count remains at 0-2. Here comes the 0-2 from Abraham.
Ooh,
Catches
yeah.
are looking for strike 2, out number 2. For strike 3, out number 2 is now. This brings up Gabby Simmental.
That pitch was in slow motion. Had Davis leaning on it, just didn't swing the bat.
2 outs, top of the 5th. Pitch is grounded to Amherst. Throw to Pope is in time for out number 3. Side is retired, so the Lady Lopes hold the Seagraves scoreless. Lady Eagles leave a runner stranded. Mr. Carson Construction score remains 8-6 as we get set to start the Lady Lopes half of the 5th inning. You are watching Post Sports Radio live and free on YouTube.
Post Lady Lope Softball is powered by Family Cleaners, your hometown laundry and dry cleaners on West Main Street in Post. The Post Area Chamber of Commerce, serving Post in all of Garza County. Visit postcitytexas.com. Richie Rich Barbershop, Yo Hablo Espanol, a licensed local barbershop on East Main and Post. Call for info and an appointment at 806-706-8413. And Post Plumbing, Heating and Air. One call does it all. 806-577-1300. Post Sports Radio thanks these sponsors for making Bold Gold Softball live and free on Facebook and YouTube.
Welcome back to Post Sports Radio's coverage of senior night action here at David Nichols Park. As we get set to start the bottom of the 5th inning. Carson Construction score is 8-6 in favor of the Lady Lopes, Jim.
No run scored by the Lady Eagles in the top of the 5th. No hits. 1 error by the Lady Lopes and 1 left on base. We go to the Lady Lope order now. We're going to start off with what was Sophie Scott. Batting in the 9th slot will be who is this?
Serenity Sanchez.
Serenity Sanchez is back in at third base, and she'll hit in the 9th slot for Sophie, who was pitching at the time.
Here comes the 0-0. Serenity watches that one go in for strike 1.
Serenity's batting .520.
It's an interesting spot for her to be batting at. Here comes the 0-1. A swing and a miss for strike 2. She typically bats cleanup.
Typically, yeah. It's one of those games, the senior night where the seniors got to start with Hannah and Zamika and Shaylee.
Oops. She fouls that pitch off.
Almost hit that hole right there, Russ.
Count remains at 0-2.
There are a couple holes in the net that could be detrimental to us if the ball's hitting the right spot.
Here comes the 0-2. That ball is hit. It's going to be a little blooper for a single for Serenity. She gets her first base knock of the day. So now this brings up Hannah Krauser.
Krauser, senior left fielder, good day out in the field, as well as at the plate. Triple, grounded out to the pitcher, and then got another hit in the third inning, scored both times she was on base.
Here comes the pitch. She takes the first pitch. Throwback holds Serenity at first.
How many strikes do you think we have? She has 2?
No. She took the first pitch for a ball. That's ball 2. Count should be 2-0.
Scoreboard says 1-2. We'll go with Russ and I's 2-0.
That's a strike. Throwback holds Serenity.
See what the ump calls here. What's the count?
Let's see what he says. 2-1.
Okay.
And ball 3 now. As that pitch was just a little bit outside. So 3-1. Hannah does have a strike to play with if she chooses to do so. Serenity still stands on first. Here comes the 3-1 from Simmental. That ball is fouled. Now it's a full count.
Simmental's about to throw her 92nd pitch of the game.
The pitch is down low. Hannah will take her base. Now this brings up Zamika Foy. Now right fielder. She's had a solid day out on the base paths.
Got a triple and a walk.
She takes the first pitch high for a ball. Comes the 1-0 from Simmental. Ooh. She can't believe she swung at that one. Counts now 1-1.
Zamika, also a senior, playing her last game in post. Number 5's got a .231 batting average.
That ball is popped up. It's a foul ball, lucky for us, as it goes off the glove of Brianna Davis in foul territory. Comes the pitch. Simmental, that is rolls past the catcher. Runners advance to second and third. Counts 2-2. Here comes the pitch. Inside for ball 3. It's a full count. Again, we up here in the Gulag don't have control of the scoreboard. Here comes the 3-2. Oh, swing and a miss for strike 3. Out number 1. As now this brings up Shaylee Pope.
Shaylee's walked twice and grounded out, so she's 0 for 1. Has scored in the first inning. Number 9, a senior again, batting .409 this season.
Here comes the 0-0. That ball is crushed out into right field. It goes off of her glove. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. Pope is now going to third.
Yeah.
She stands up on third with the triple.
Probably an error on that, but you know, Russ.
That's a 2 RBI triple.
She's a senior, and her other 2 senior friends, Hannah and Zamika, have a triple today as well. So Shaylee gets a triple. 2 runs scored.
So now here comes Hannah Abraham, who's now pitching. She takes first pitch for a ball. For a strike. Here comes the pitch. That ball's crushed out into straightaway center. Goes off the glove of Kamari Bibbs. 1 run will score. That's Pope. As Hannah has a stand-up double.
That will be a single.
Stand-up single.
Get an E on the 8, center fielder.
As she advances to second on the throwback in. So now this brings up Zaylee Perez. First pitch as Hannah is walked back to second.
But Hannah does get an RBI on that.
Here comes the pitch. That ball is popped up. It's going to land for a little blooper single.
Texas leaguer to left center.
Coming to bat now is going to be Amberly Garza. A lot of perfectly placed hit balls for the Lady Lopes today.
And still just 1 out.
Again, your Carson Construction score is extended now to 11-6. A little golf swing from Amberly as she smiles at that one. Count is now 0-1.
Amberly hits the ball a lot, batting .419.
Here comes the 0-1. That is, bounces off of the catcher down low. The runners advance. So how would you classify that if the catcher's unable to stop it and it bounces back away from her?
Well, it's hard to call it a pass ball. It has the same effect, though. She just couldn't handle the ball to keep the runners at bay.
So comes the 1-1. That ball is popped up out into center and lands, bounces a little short hop, runner scores. So
Hannah Abraham comes home.
Amberly has a single. She advances on the throwback in.
Got runners at second and third and a rally going.
All right.
Harley Jo McClellan's going to come in to pinch hit. She is she's not a senior. She's a junior this year. Harley Jo, by the way, a little bit about her. Once again, a junior, usually plays second base when she's out in the field, batting .250, on base percentage of .344. There's number 12 and bats right.
Getting runners in scoring position for the Lady Lopes. 1 out. Bottom of the 5th. 12-6 is your Carson Construction score. Here comes the 0-0. That ball is popped up. Brianna Davis is able to make a play on the ball for out number 2. Runners hold their positions.
Who do you have on third base? Is that Zaylee?
I have Zaylee on third.
Amberly's on second.
Here comes Sanaya. As Harley Jo's playing for, she came into bat for Amaris.
Here we go. So 4 runs this inning for the Lady Lopes.
Sanaya fouls the first pitch off for strike 1. I believe when the Lady Lopes take over for the top half of the 6th, I think we'll see Harley Jo out at second base. Here comes the 0-1. That ball is crushed. It is popped. Shortstop is there. Oh! Catch is made. That's Kamari Bibbs is able to make a play for out number 3. So a literal bang-bang play retires the side, but the Lady Lopes are able to score, I believe, 4 runs in the bottom of the fifth.
Correct.
To take the lead, now Carson Construction score being 12-6. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll go over some infield adjustments that Coach Groomer is making. You are watching Post Sports Radio's coverage of Lady Lope softball. We'll be right back after this.
Post Lady Lope Softball is powered by La Isabel Boutique, a girls' boutique with clothes, accessories, and custom hair bows. The boutique is located at Avenue H in East Main. The Post Area Chamber of Commerce, serving posts in all of Garza County. Visit postcitytexas.com. The Post Methodist Church, making disciples of Jesus Christ. Antelope Wash and Dry, a clean, affordable laundromat now open at 303 South Broadway. And Happy State Bank, a division of Centennial Bank, member FDIC. Post Sports Radio thanks these sponsors for making Bold Gold Softball live and free on Facebook and YouTube.
Welcome back to Post Sports Radio's coverage of senior night action here at David Nichols Park. As your Carson Construction score is 12-6 in favor of the Lady Lopes.
Yeah, and they take that lead in the bottom of the fifth inning with 4 runs on 5 hits. 1 error completed out in the field, and Post leaves 2 on the bases.
As Harley Jo McClellan will take the field now out at second base. Sorry, shortstop. She comes in at shortstop. Forgot that they moved Zaley over to second.
Zaley was at second, right?
Yes, his first pitch is taken for balls. Now this is number 11.
Alyssa Perez. Alyssa today, let's see. She walked, struck out, and got a base hit last inning. Or 2 innings ago. Scored as well.
So that ball is popped up. Zaley runs underneath it. Oh, it just bounces out of her glove.
Tough catch to make. We'll give Perez a base hit on that.
This brings up first baseman Brianna Davis. First baseman batting left against the right-hander of Hannah. Runner on first. Watch the pitch go in for strike 1. I'm going to keep speaking it into existence and let it manifest itself, Jim. Double play opportunity is there.
Always.
Ball is popped back foul. Back at the catcher's net for strike 2.
Yeah, Kamari Bibbs on deck, and then she'll be followed by Adriana Davis. Actually, it's Adriana.
Comes the 0-2. Just a bit outside for ball 1. Comes the 1-2.
Oh.
It is foul, according to the umpire.
Okay.
And I agree with him. Count is 1-2. Again, no outs here in the top of the 6th. 1 runner on for the Lady Eagles. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, out number 1. As this now brings up number 12.
Well, since Hannah Abraham got into the circle, she's got, I think, 5 strikeouts.
This will be number 12 coming into bat, Jim. And that is popped up. Sanaya catches it for
the out. Right.
Well, I guess the umpire says it grazed the net and came back in play. So
yeah, we couldn't see that part of the net. So strike 1. Who did you say this was? 12.
This is 12. This is April Anderson.
Should be. They had some changes in numbers, so we'll go with April.
Per the lineup that Coach Saldivar gave us. She fouls. That tip back. Nope. Oh, they said it was a drop third strike that just was able to come back. So that's another out.
I missed that whole thing. My head was down. Nonetheless, it's an out. So it's a strikeout.
It's out number 2, yes. So now this brings up Adriana Davis.
So 2 Ks in a row for Abraham in the circle for the Lady Lopes.
Comes the 0-0. Is in there for strike 1.
Adriana Davis, let's see, a strikeout, flew out and grounded out. 0 for 3 today.
Swing and a miss at that one for strike 2. Here comes the 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Yeah.
Side is retired.
I think she was bailing out of the box, but the motion of the bat meant that she was swinging at it.
So that'll retire Seagraves from their half of the 6th as we move on to the bottom of the 6th for the Lady Lopes half. Your Carson Construction score is 12-6. Stay with us. Post Sports Radio's coverage of Lady Lopes softball will continue here on YouTube right after this.
My name is Sochi Anderton. I'm a dentist here at Post Family Dentistry. This clinic is a huge example of providing fancy dental care here in Post, Texas, because the residents of Post in these smaller communities, they deserve that same quality of care. We've expanded from 3 chairs now to 6 chairs at this new location. We are very proud here at Post Family Dentistry of our small town values combined with state-of-the-art care.
Welcome back to Post Sports Radio's coverage of Lady Lopes softball as we are live here at David Nichols Park for senior night. The Carson Construction the score as we get set to start the Lady Lopes half inning is 12-6, Jim.
Yeah, Lady Eagles, no hits, no runs, no errors, nobody left on base. As far as Abraham on the mound for the Lady Lopes, doing well on, let's see, 7 strikeouts and just pitched 3 innings, or actually 2.5.
Pitch is taken for ball 1. Want to remind everybody the games around the district and why this game is important for us in particular. Sundown is taking on New Home at Sundown, and Tahoka's taking on Morton. Serenity watches that pitch go by for another ball. Counts now 2-0. And why is that important? Because New Home and Tahoka have yet to play each other, and we have a game up on each of them in the standings. Here comes the 2-0. Catches the inner part of the strike zone for strike 1. This is Serenity Sanchez up to bat.
Serenity senior this year as well, number 10, batting .520.
Comes the 2-0. Oh, just a reactionary swing on a pitch that was outside for, I believe that's strike 2.
Well, I say she's a senior, she's not. She's a junior. I take that back. So she'll be back again next year, thank God. Still batting .520.
Here comes the 2-2 that rolls past the catcher for ball 3.
Again, Post senior night, only 3 seniors on the team. Foy, Krauser, and Pope all started the game.
Counts 3-2. Here comes the pitch. High, ball 4. Serenity will take her base. As now we're back to the top of the order. Here comes Hannah Krauser. I believe this is her 5th appearance at the plate.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, it is. And she is, let's see, 2 hits, a triple and a single, a base, got on a walk and scored 3 times.
Oh, she swung and misses at that one. I think she was sitting fastball. Counts now 0-1. Comes the 0-1 to Krauser. That goes high and outside for ball 1. Counts back even at 1-1.
Krauser bats .375 on the season. Today she's batting .750.
The pitch goes outside. The pitch goes down low for a ball. Serenity will stand on second. Counts now 3-1. No outs. Bottom sixth. Now the speedster Hannah Krauser is going to be standing on first. This is going to be another speedster, Zamika Foy, for her 5th appearance at the plate.
Exactly. Struck out her last time out. She's walked, grounded out, and her big hit today was a triple. That was in the 2nd inning. That was followed by in the 1st inning where Krauser had one as well.
As the pitch goes past the catcher, now the runners both advance to 2nd and 3rd. Count is now 1-0. Here comes the pitch. It's down low for a ball. Here comes the 2-0 from Simmental. Is down low and outside for ball 3. Counts now 3-0. Again, runners in scoring position for the Lady Lopes at 2nd and 3rd. Krauser's on 2nd and Serenity is at 3rd. Here comes the 3-0. Foy will take her base. Now the bases are loaded. As now we have the first of our many power hitters in the lineup. This is Shaylee Pope.
Shaylee Pope, last inning, we gave her a triple, and she scored on that as well. Previously, she walked twice.
Ball goes high and outside for ball 1. Here comes the 1-0. Momentarily from Simmental as she takes her time. Getting bases loaded for the Lady Lopes as the pitch goes outside for ball 2.
Shealy's also scored 2 runs for the Lady Lopes, 2 of the 12.
Here comes the 2-0. That is down low and inside for ball 3. A walk extends the Lady Lopes lead. Simmental takes her time. She now puts her mask back on. Here comes the 3-0. Down low, ball 4. Shaylee Pope will take her base as another run scores. Now is a back-to-back power hitter situation. This is Hannah Abraham.
A pitching change, it looks like, for the Lady Eagles of Seagraves. Down right now 13-6. Carson Construction score. Bottom of the 6th.
We'll see who she brings it. Yep, it's going to be mound business, so we're going to take a break. When we come back, we will go over who all is in the infield for Seagraves. Carson Construction scored 13-6 favored the Lady Lopes. Post Sports Radio's coverage of Lady Lope softball will resume right after this.
Post Dispatch is proud to support all of our local high school sports. They're excited to bring you all the weekly scores and highlights of your favorite teams, as well as keeping you informed about everything going on in the community. Subscribe today. You can choose to have your newspaper mailed to your home or business, or subscribe online and get the news when it's convenient for you. They're proud to serve the community and proud to serve Garza County. The Post Dispatch, community news at the finest.
This message is sponsored by Judge Lee and Marcia Norman.
Texas 4-H is a club for kids and teenagers ages 5 to 18, and it's big. It's the largest youth development program in Texas. 4-H is for kids with animals and so much more, like shooting sports, food science, healthy living, fashion, and photography. Contact the Garza County Extension Office to sign up by calling 806-495-4400 or visit 4honline.com.
This is brought to you by Judge Lee and Marcia Norman, supporting what's good for Post and Garza County.
All right, welcome back to Post Sports Radio's coverage of Lady Lope softball. As a whole bunch of new people came into the game for Seagraves, and we'll go over it one by one. Pitching is now Trinity Esparza. As that ball is crushed, it is popped up. As the shortstop, Gabby Simmental, now is able to make a play. Hannah tags from the infield.
Heads up by Hannah Krauser, tagging up on an infield fly.
So that is it's not that's an infield sacrifice fly.
There you go.
If it's an infield fly, you can't advance on that.
Infield sac fly.
So now this is Zaylee Perez. That ball is crushed. Center fielder is able to run underneath it for out number 2. Runners advance on the throw back. So the throw over to third.
So there's your sac fly to center field. Advances the runners.
So now this brings up Amberly Garza. Oh, I guess they said that somebody took off too early.
I think she probably did. I was wondering how she got there so quickly. So they tag second base, and Zamika Foy is going to be out at second.
Yeah, so Foy's going to be out at second. So now we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have the top of the 7th. So this is the last out for Seagraves. Carson Construction score is 14-6. Listen to Post Sports Radio and watching on live and free on YouTube.
The community of Post continues to be committed to the Post Antelopes, just as Happy State Bank is committed to our customers. Perseverance, commitment, and resilience are key ingredients for success both on and off the field of play. Whether you are cheering on the Post Antelopes, starting a new business, or planning for the future, Happy State Bank is here for all your life's moments. Let us be your partner at Happy State Bank. Visit us in person or at happybank.com.
Happy State Bank, a division of Centennial Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Welcome back to Post Lady Lope softball here on Post Sports Radio for senior night here at David Nichols Park. Carson Construction score is now 14-6, so we can set to start the top of the 7th. As Jim, real quickly, we think we might have a score update for your Post Antelopes over at Sundown.
We'll check that in just a minute. 14-6 is the score. Post gets 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th on no hits, no errors, and 2 left on base.
Now this is Aaron Jolly coming up to bat.
The Bold Gold Antelopes at Sundown today. Give me 1 second. We'll get that for you.
So that pitch is popped with a little blooper out into right field. Zamika's able to throw to second, is in time. She's out trying to advance to second. What a throw from Zamika to Harley Joe for out number 1.
So you call that a 9 from the senior to the shortstop, the junior.
She does get credit on the single, but she tried to get too aggressive and running over to second.
Score from Sundown. Sundown leads 12-0 against the Bold Gold Antelopes. They are in the, looks like the bottom of the 5th.
Here comes the 0-0. Taken for strike 1 to number 6, Elise Soto.
Great play by Zamika Foy on her senior night game for the senior.
Pitch is taken for a ball. Here comes the 1-1 from Hannah. Oh, that's good location, but just misses the zone for ball 2. Here comes the 2-1. High for ball 3.
Don't forget, we'll have the senior night presentation of the seniors after the game, so please stay with us for the post-game show.
Pitch is taken for strike 2. Counts a full count now. Here comes the 3-2 from Hannah. Catches her looking for strike 3, out number 2. Seagraves down to their last out.
That's the 7th strikeout for Hannah on the mound for the Lady Lopes.
Here comes the 0-0. Swing and a miss by Nunu Martinez. What plate appearance number for her is this, Jim?
4th time up. She's got a base on balls, a base hit, and struck out her last time up. That was back in the 5th.
She watches the previous pitch go by for ball 1. Counts back even now at 1-1. Swing and a miss. A late swing by Martinez for strike 2. Lady Eagles down to their last strike. Comes the pitch. Ball grounds foul. Coach Pittman for Seagraves stops the ball, but he gets tripped up as well.
It's a rough job out there, first base coach. Need to be have a glove on as well as wear a helmet.
Count remains 1-2. Again, 2 outs. Top of the 7th. Seagraves down to their final out. She just fouls that one back to the backstop for a foul ball. Here comes the 1-2. She has to come back as now that's a 2-2 count now. Here comes the 2-2 from Abraham. That is fouled once again. Count remains at 2-2. Martinez battling like her life depends on it. Here comes the 2-2 from Abraham. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Ball game, and just like that, your Post Lady Lopes have officially clinched a top 4 seed in the district. Your final score, Carson Construction score, is 14-6 in favor of the Post Lady Lopes. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have the senior day. We'll have the seniors presentation, as well as we'll recap this game for you once again. Final score here at David Nichols Park is 14-6. Post over Seagraves. The Post Sports Radio wrap-up show will begin right after this.
The Post-Dispatch is proud to support all of our local high school sports. They're excited to bring you all the weekly scores and highlights of your favorite teams, as well as keeping you informed about everything going on in the community. Subscribe today. You can choose to have your newspaper mailed to your home or business, or subscribe online and get the news when it's convenient for you. They're proud to serve the community and proud to serve Garza County. The Post-Dispatch. Community news at the finest.
This message is sponsored by Judge Lee and Marcia Norman.
The Post Rotary Club takes pride in the community, and what a better way to show that than with the Parade of Flags program. For a $50 annual fee, we will place an American flag in your front yard or place of business on 5 holidays and pick it up afterwards. Funds from the program will support youth scholarships and programs in the Post Garza County community. Get the Parade of Flags registration form on the Post Texas Rotary Club Facebook page, or send a request for a form by email to rotaryclubofposttexas@gmail.com. Show the nation's colors and your patriotism and join the Parade of Flags, a fundraising effort of the Rotary Club of Post.
This is brought to you by Judge Lee and Marcia Norman, supporting what's good for Post and Garza County.
It's springtime, and that means fleas and ticks are starting to target our little furry pals. Garza County Animal Hospital reminds you that although fleas and ticks are a threat to pets year-round here in West Texas, they become the most active during the warmer months. Get a jump start on your fleas and tick protection and keep your pet healthy and happy from a monthly application to a single pill taken every 3 months. Give us a call today to schedule your appointment. Garza County Animal Hospital, 495-3726.
Welcome back to Post Lady Lope Softball, a Post Sports Radio presentation, live and free on Facebook and YouTube. This broadcast is made possible by Garza County Animal Hospital, a family atmosphere for family pets. KSSL Radio, playing the greatest country music ever recorded. The Will and Crystal Osborne family, proud supporters of the Bold Gold Nation. The Post Independent School District, we are Bold Gold. Carson Construction, Post owned and operated. Call 806-626-3811. Judge Lee and Marcia Norman, supporting what's good for Post and Garza County. The Post Dispatch, the newspaper of record for Garza County since 1926. The Dispatch is the corporate sponsor of Post Sports Radio. Post Family Dentistry, small town values, state-of-the-art care. And now, here's Bold Gold Wrap-Up Show on postsportsradio.com.
All right, welcome back to the Post Sports Radio Wrap-Up Show. As I believe we're about to get things underway for the senior night presentation for our three seniors. Our three seniors are Zamika Foy, Hannah Krauser, and Shaylee Pope.
And we're going to adjust the camera a little bit so y'all can see it. Excuse a little shaky hands for a little bit. We're not really sure where they're going to do the ceremony, but we'll have to just play it by ear. Once again, your Lady Lopes win big, 14-6. They are still undefeated in April, 4 in a row.
And most importantly, guys, they have clinched a playoff spot for one of the top 4 seeds in the district. They have a 2-game lead over New Home and Tahoka right now. You have, with the win over Tahoka earlier on Tuesday, you're able to create chaos in the standings.
Lady Lopes having a great season, great improvement over last year.
And you are guaranteed when the regular season is over, you are guaranteed a winning record because you are now 13-11 overall.
13-11, now 6-3 in district. Looking fantastic. And still just one game left, right? That'll be Tuesday. I believe it's going to be at sundown.
Yes, it will.
And on Tuesday, we'll be doing the boys game, the baseball game from here against Sundown as well. And we're going to try to get that score for you real quick. They're playing right now. It's a 12-0 final score with Sundown winning.
Well, they'll look to have revenge coming their way on Tuesday.
Let me go over the why don't you go over the score, or I'll go over the score by innings real quick, Russ, of this game here. Seagraves against Post. Seagraves, of course, batted first as the visitors. Scored 1 to start off the game in the first inning, 3 in the second, none in the third. 2 runs knocked in the fourth, then nothing the rest of the game. That's when your star pitcher Abraham comes in to finish the game. Post replied quickly at the bottom of the first, going ahead with a 3-1 lead. And then nothing in the second, 5 put up in the third inning, nothing in the fourth, 4 in the fifth inning, and then 2 to finish the game in the bottom of the sixth.
Real quickly, as that final score line is here in front of me, Seagraves was able to get 6 runs on 5 hits and committed 3 errors. Post was able to score 14 runs on 13 hits and 7 errors. So they were able to overcome losing the error margin, but winning 14-6. Sophie Scott gets credit with the win. Through 3 innings, she had 3 strikeouts, 6 walks, gave up 4 hits and 6 runs. 2 of those were earned. As now we're underway with the presentation.
You're going to have trouble hearing it, so we'll just have to go ahead and announce what's going on. You got it, Russ. I'm on camera.
So now, entering the frame, this is going to be Zamika Foy. Her plans after high school are to join the U.S. Navy and be an ultrasound tech. Here's Hannah Krauser.
Hannah had the game of her life today.
She's escorted by her mom.
Sean's not going to WT. Is that what I heard? We'll have to repeat that, Russ.
She is planning on going to WT, and she's going to be an ag major.
Of course, has been very successful in the stock show world.
Here comes Shaylee Pope. She's escorted by her mom.
It's Callie Peters.
She's going to be a kinesiology major. Didn't quite hear where she's going to school. Forgot to mention that Zamika is joined on the field by her mom and dad as well. Again, your seniors are Shaylee Pope, Hannah Krauser, and Zamika Foy.
Okay, Russ, that's going to be the presentation. We can wrap things up. I'm going to play another break right now, and we'll come back and finish the wrap-up show and give you the Lady Lopes of the game as well.
Post Lady Lope Softball is powered by Family Cleaners, your hometown laundry and dry cleaners on West Main Street in Post. The Post Area Chamber of Commerce, serving Post in all of Garza County. Visit postcitytexas.com. Richie Rich Barbershop, Yo Hablo Espanol, a licensed local barbershop on East Main and Post. Call for info and an appointment at 806-706-8413. And Post Plumbing, Heating and Air. One call does it all. 806-577-1300. Post Sports Radio thanks these sponsors for making Bold Gold Softball live and free on Facebook and YouTube.
Post ISD is filled with passionate staff, daring students, and deep-rooted traditions of champions. Our state-of-the-art facilities provide top-tier educational opportunities, including career and technical training, advanced academics, and free college courses, creating future-ready antelopes. Our 4-day instructional week allows our students to continually pursue excellence in our distinguished fine arts programs, exceptional athletic teams, and a multitude of other extracurricular activities. Post ISD, we are Bold Gold.
Are you looking to do some work around the house and would like to hire a contractor who does every part of the job? Then give Carson Construction a call at 806-626-3811. Greg Carson and his crew have over 40 years of combined experience and can do new construction, remodeling, and concrete work. Plan now for your spring and summer projects and call the guys who pride themselves on their work. 806-626-3811. Carson Construction, building a lasting relationship with each customer. Call 806-626-3811.
All right, welcome back to the Post Sports Radio wrap-up show. Your final here from David Nichols Park on senior night is a Carson Construction score of 14-6 in favor of the Lady Lopes. Now, as we go over the final stats of the game, I mentioned Sophie Scott gets credit with the win. Hannah Abraham gets credit with the save, and a rare 3-inning save. And she had 9 strikeouts, gave up 1 walk and only 1 hit. As, let's see, the Gabby Simmental, through her 5 innings, gave up 13 hits, 14 runs, 14 of them were earned, 12 walks, and 3 strikeouts. She had 130 pitches, and Hannah Abraham had 54, and Sophie had 81. As we look at the final.
One thing, Russ, the 3 seniors are taking their final walk and go around the bases all together holding hands, and that is Hannah Krauser, Zamika Foy, and Shaylee Pope.
I'm going to keep that going for you as you all can see that. Speaking of, Zamika, through the day, according to the stats and Game Changer, she went 1 for 3, 1 hit and 3 at-bats, had 2 walks. Hannah Krauser had 2 hits and 3 at-bats, scored 4 runs and 1 RBI, and had 2 walks as well. Shaylee Pope went 1 for 2, 1 hit and 2 at-bats, scored 2 runs, drove in 3. and also got on base with 3 walks. Hannah Abraham mustered 2 hits and 3 at-bats, scored 2 runs.
They're all taking turns except for Shaylee. Said, nah, she didn't get dirty today. She's not going to start now.
Hannah also had 2 RBIs as well. Zaylee Perez, 3 hits and 5 at-bats, 1 RBI. Amberly Garza, 2 hits, 4 at-bats, 1 run, 1 RBI. Amaris Abraham, 1 hit and 2 at-bats, 1 run, 1 RBI, got on base with a walk. Sanaya Sanchez got on base twice via walks and scored 1 run. And then Sophie was able to get on base, and she did score a run, has an RBI to her credit with a walk. And Serenity Sanchez has scored 2 runs, got on base with a walk, and was able to get on base with a hit. In total, the Lady Lopes got on base for a grand total of 41 times, scored 14 runs, 13 hits, and had 10 RBIs.
Man, great game for the Lady Lopes to make it, once again, 4 wins in a row. April, undefeated scores.
So here's what I'm going to do. This is an easy choice. Your Lady Lopes of the game, we're going to go ahead and name them.
Got them. The ones who just came home. Hannah Krauser, Zamika Foy, and Shaylee Pope all had wonderful games at the plate as well as in the field. And they are the seniors that started the game in order at 1, 2, and 3 in the batting order. So congratulations, senior girls, Hannah, Zamika, and Shaylee. You are our and everybody's Lady Lopes of the game.
Yes, sir, and once again, congratulations, as your final score here at David Nichols Park on senior night is 14-6 was your Carson Construction score. And I'm going to throw up a graphic real quick and just give up a quick congratulations to your 2025 area track champions, your Bowl Gold Antelopes at the area track meet in Abernathy last night. Had a whale of a performance. A lot of the guys are going to regionals in Canyon next Friday and Saturday for an opportunity to go to the state track meet. So I throw that up to say this. Your Lady Lopes and your boys cap off a very hectic week. With everybody playing on Friday, which is today, everybody will get some much-needed rest over the weekend.
A little shout-out real quick to our very own Carter Petty, who advanced in track and in golf. So he's spending the whole week up in Canyon. That's where both of those events are going to take place.
So, once again, for your final score is your final Carson Construction score is 14-6, Post over Seagraves. Your Lady Lopes are now 13-11 on the year and are 6-3 in district, and they await the Sundown Roughets for their final regular season game of the year next Tuesday. That'll do it for Post Sports Radio today. For Jim Plummer, I'm Russ Morris saying guns up, God bless, happy Palm Sunday, and I hope to see everybody in church. So long, everybody. Go and keep hope alive. Forgot to say.
My name is Sochi Anderton. I'm a dentist here at Post Family Dentistry. This clinic is a huge example of providing fancy dental care here in Post, Texas, because the residents of Post in these smaller communities, they deserve that same quality of care. We've expanded from 3 chairs now to 6 chairs at this new location. We are very proud here at Post Family Dentistry of our small town values combined with state-of-the-art care.
The Post-Dispatch is proud to support all of our local high school sports. They're excited to bring you all the weekly scores and highlights of your favorite teams, as well as keeping you informed about everything going on in the community. Subscribe today. You can choose to have your newspaper mailed to your home or business, or subscribe online and get the news when it's convenient for you. They're proud to serve the community and proud to serve Garza County. The Post-Dispatch, community news at the finest.
Take a break and let Post Family Cleaners take care of the laundry. Family Cleaners is Post hometown laundry and dry cleaners on West Main Street in Post. Whether it's dry cleaning, wash and starching, laundry service, or alterations, Post Family Cleaners has you covered. Let Post Family Cleaners make your life a bit easier. Go by 111 West Main Street or call 806-495-0777 to get details. That's 806-495-0777. Post Family Cleaners, your hometown laundry and dry cleaners on West Main and Post.
All broadcasts in all and any media form provided by postsportsradio.com are the sole property of Post Sports Enterprises with the permission of the Post Independent School District. Any retransmission of any of these broadcasts, whether partial or in its entirety, for commercial or personal use without express written consent of the Post Sports Enterprises and Post ISD is strictly prohibited. Any violations of these broadcast rights will be strictly enforced and upheld as allowed by local, state, and federal statutes, ordinances, and laws. We hope you enjoyed this post-high school event exclusively on postsportsradio.com.